I'll be teaching you the analysis of algorithms and research computing from unit 1 to unit 3rd. Now I will not join anyone because it keeps disturbing me. I already told that everyone should join before 6:30. So firstly, we will study a basic thing about the algorithms. What is an algorithms? So an algorithm is, we all know that it is a well-defined computational procedure that takes some values or any set of values as an input and produce some outputs. Means in any way, algorithms means it is a kind of procedure which process the data. You give some input to the data to the process, and then it will produce some results. Okay, so the whatever happens in between input and output, that is because of the algorithms. Okay, so an algorithm is the sequence of computational steps that transforms the input into output. Okay, so whatever procedure we need to transform from input to output, that is the algorithm. So we apply multiple types of algorithms to get the output, and an algorithm can be viewed as a tool for solving a well specified computational problems. So whatever problem you have, you need to apply an algorithm on that, then you can get the results, whatever results you want. You will have a problem, then you need to identify what kind of problem it is, then you need to search for the available algorithms, or there is if any algorithms is not present, then you need to make one, then you need to apply on that input data, then you will get the result. Okay, so it can be also viewed as a computational it can also be viewed as the tool for solving different kinds of problem. So the statement of problem specifies in general terms the desired input output relationship. So whatever statement you have given, it will tell you what is the desired output. This is our input and we want this output. So in the statement of the problem itself, it will be given what the input requires, what the input requires, what the output requires. Okay, so you need to identify it, and then you need to apply the efficient algorithms. So the algorithms describe the specific computational procedures for achieving that input output relationship. Means whatever input output relationship is given in the statement of the problem, then you need to achieve that relationship by using some algorithms. So for example, we will take the example of sorting algorithm. So suppose if you want to sort any set of numbers into non-decreasing order, means increasing orders. Okay, so this problem arises frequently in practice and provide fertile ground for introducing many standard design techniques and analysis tools. So we will see firstly the sorting problem. See what is the sorting problem. So we all know you will have a set of numbers, and then you need to sort it into the increasing order or the decreasing order. So suppose you have this is your input sequence. A set of number are given, you can see a1 a2 until the an. Okay, the set of number is given and you need to sort these number into the increasing order. So the what will be the output will be that numbers only. Okay, कि जो भी नंबर हमारे इनपुट में दिए हुए हैं, आउटपुट विल बी दैट नंबर्स ओनली, बट ओनली द ऑर्डर विल बी चेंज. ऑर्डर चेंज हो रहा है मीन्स दैट विल बी अ परमुटेशन ऑफ द गिवन इनपुट. ओके, सो इन द आउटपुट यू वांट द permuted permuted data which will be in the increasing order. Okay, so this is the input data given in some random order, and then you need to sort it into the increasing order. So that this is the condition. Increasing order में short करना means our first key value should be less than or equal to the second one, then and so on. So suppose for example our input is given this 82496. So you can see that it is the unsorted data. So 8 is there, after 8 it is 2, 2 is less than 8, then 4 means you can see it is unarranged. So now you need to sort this data into increasing order. So after applying the sorting technique, whatever technique you want to apply, we haven't mentioned the technique here, we just using the sorting method. So you can use either the insertion sort, merge sort, counting sort, any sort you want, you can use. And then you need to sort them into the increasing order. So after sorting, we will get this results. So you can see in the output that the result we are getting, it is in the increasing order. So it is correct. Okay, so this is simple example that we have given a set of data and we have asked to sort these number into increasing order. Then we have applied some algorithms or some procedure to sort them, and then we get the data. Okay, so such an input sequence is called as instance of the sorting problem. So this input sequence means whatever input sequence you are having, it is known as the instance of the sorting problem. And in general, the instance of a sorting problem consists of the input needed to compute a solution from the problem. Okay. So what it is saying, an instance of the problem consists of the input. As you can see, this is the instance of the problem and this is also the input. So it is saying an instance of a problem consists of the input needed to compute a solution to the problem. So which algorithm is best for given application depends on multiple things. So we don't know which method we want to use. In this example, we need to sort the particular set of numbers into increasing order. So we don't know which method to apply, which sorting techniques to apply. So we need to check a number of things, such as the number of items to be sorted, because it is possible that any algorithm which is good for less number of elements will not be well suited for the large number of elements. Okay, so according to your number of items, you need to identify which techniques you want to use and possible restrictions on the item value. If there is any possible restriction, then you need to identify on the basis of that. And according to architecture of computer, suppose if you have any you are using any sorting technique which is taking so much data, so much space, sorry. Okay, so you cannot use it on a system which have very low memory. So you need to and kind of storage device. So you need to identify, you need to look for all these features whenever you are finalizing the algorithm. Okay, so these are the important points you need to remember whenever you are identifying any efficient algorithms. So an algorithm is said to be correct if for every input instance it halts with correct output. Okay. So suppose you have made any algorithm. Okay, and you are saying it is correct, but whenever you are running in some input, it is not halting. Means it is not stopping. It is running continuously. So you cannot say that this algorithm is correct because uh, because in correct algorithm should stop in a halting point. Okay, so it should stop. And in an incorrect algorithm might not halt at all input instance, but it might halt with incorrect answer. Okay, so it is possible कि अगर हमारे पास incorrect algorithm है तो दो possibility. First is it will not be halted in any input instance, and other one is it might halt but with incorrect answer. So you need to identify कि whatever algorithm you are using, it is correct or not, and if it is correct, then it will produce the correct output and it will halt in some correct input instance. Okay, so the now we have seen what is an algorithm and how to apply it. So till now anyone have any doubt? My voice is low. I'm not audible properly.
No, ma'am. We can easily, like, we can clearly. You're audible clearly.
Okay, so We have seen ki, what is an algorithms and how to select an efficient algorithm. What are the measures to select the efficient algorithms? Now we will see the features, characteristics of an algorithm. So what are the basic characteristics of algorithms? So these are the 5 characteristics of an algorithms. So every algorithms must satisfy some criteria, and these are the some criterias. So what are the criterias? First is the input. So every algorithm should have 0 or 1 input, or it should have 0, 1 or more than 1 input. Okay, so every algorithm should have or 0, 1 or more than 1 inputs. Then output, either it has any input or not, it should produce the output. So this is the output characteristic. It every algorithm should produce the output. Then finiteness means it should it should halt after the finite number of steps. Okay, so whatever algorithms you have made or you are using, it should halt after the finite number of steps. Okay, so this is the finiteness. Then definiteness means कि whatever steps you are using, every step should be मीनिंगफुल. ऐसा नहीं कि जो भी हमने सपोज 10 स्टेप्स यूज किए हैं तो उसमें से 5 स्टेप्स यूजफुल हैं एंड 5 यूजलेस हैं. So that should not be the case. Every step should be some have some definitive value. So every should so the fourth characteristic is the definiteness. Then last is the effectiveness. So whatever algorithm you are using, it should be effective. Okay, means it should run for every possible case. ऐसे नहीं कि you if you want to run the sorting algorithm, so you have taken some input and it is running properly for that input. But if someone have taken some other input, some other set of values, then it is not running properly on that values. Okay, so it should be effective for all types of inputs, whatever the domain of that algorithm. Okay, so these are the characteristics of the algorithm. So now these are the algorithms design steps. So how do you design the algorithm? The first step is devise an algorithm, means devise an algorithm, then validate the algorithm. कि whatever algorithm you have designed, take some data and validate it. Either it is giving the correct output or not. Then after validating, analyze it. Means time complexity, space complexity, all these things. So when you have completed all these 3 steps, then your algorithm is designed. Then an algorithm is said to be efficient if it requires polynomial CPU time and main memory space. So everyone, I think, have known about the polynomial and non-polynomial time. If you don't know, then don't worry. We will study in the later topics. So an algorithm is said to be efficient if it requires polynomial CPU times means uh, what I can say, polynomial means n square n cube. In that way, if it is taking time and memory, then it is okay. But if it is taking the time and memory such as the n factorial or n to the power n, then it is non-polynomial. Okay. So points to consider. So these are the different points to consider whenever you are talking about the algorithms. So what kind of problems are solved by the algorithms till now? If you want to so if you want to know about the what kind of problem are solved by the algorithms till now, so you can easily think and get to know the internet. We are conducting the online classes because of the algorithms. We have some very good algorithms and the data transfer. So internet is running on very good algorithms. And what we can say there on this e-commerce, all the e-commerce, Flipkart, Amazon are using the algorithms of different types. And whenever you want to send some message in the WhatsApp group or any group, then identifying the path from the source to destination, it is also using the algorithm, shortest path algorithm. Means everything surrounded by us are using is using the algorithms. Okay, and also if you want to compare the two DNAs, that how much the percentage of DNA is matching or not, then for that also DNA matching we are using the algorithms, the longest common sequence. So you need to identify what percent of DNAs are matching. So firstly you need to take the two DNAs and match them, and you need to then identify the longest common subsequence in between the two DNAs. Then in that way you get to identify how much percent is DNA matching. So this is also one algorithm. So everything surrounded by us is running by using algorithms. Then data structures. We all know about the data structures. That we have the stack, queue, arrays, trees, graphs. These all are the data structures which we are going to use in the later section. Then techniques. What kind of technique we are going to use to compute the to devise the algorithms, to analyze the algorithms. Then hard problems means the problems which cannot be computed in the polynomial CPU time. Okay, that are the hard problems. So then we will see algorithm as a technology. So what is that means? We will see now we are using algorithm as a technology. So suppose if means why we are why we are designing the algorithms. We are designing so that we can get the accurate data in less amount of time. Okay, that purpose only we are designing algorithms. So suppose if we have infinite memory and we have the computers which are the infinitely fast. Okay, means there is no time restriction, there is no memory restriction. Then why do we design the algorithms? Okay, if you can think like this, then what is the need of algorithm? So what we can say, there is still the need of algorithms. And why it is needed? Because just give me 2 minutes. Hmm. So if this is the case that you have the infinite memory and you have infinite time, then why you would design the algorithms? So the answer is that you still want to design an algorithms for the efficient way. Means you would probably want your implementation to be within the bounds of good software engineering service practice. Means ki whatever algorithm you are designing, it should give the correct answer. Means you have the time, you have the space. That means ki you are running an algorithm and it is not giving anything. Okay, so that if you want to compute the output, efficient output, then you need to design an efficient algorithm. Okay, so but you would and whatever means whatever memory you have, whatever time you have, still you want to use the method that was the easiest to implement in the whatever technique you, whatever problem you need to solve. Okay, so computing time is a bounded resource, and so the space in the memory. Okay, so these are the restricted. If this is the an hypothetical situation, if this is the case, then why do we need to create the algorithms? Okay, but this is not the case. So in real time, computing time is bounded resource and space is also a bounded resource. So we need to use these two resources wisely, and for that purpose we need to create efficient algorithms which will take less time and less memory. Okay, so this is the thing. So we need to create efficient algorithms that will take that should be easy to implement. They should take less time, they should take less space. This is the basic features of the algorithms. So the first thing is we need to see that how efficient our algorithm is. So for that we will see the efficiency. So we have seen the we all know that for sorting any number of elements, we have different algorithms. We have insertion sort, merge sort, selection sort, quick sort. We have multiple algorithms for the sorting purpose only. So it is saying कि different algorithms are devised to solve the same problems, often differ dramatically in their efficiency. We all know that कि अगर हमें शॉर्ट करना है कोई भी नंबर ऑफ एलिमेंट्स को तो क्विक शॉर्ट will give the different time complexity, insertion sort will give the different time complexity, and merge sort will give the different time complexity. Okay, और ये से it is not happening because of the hardware and software reason. It is happening because of their designing mechanisms or the algorithms. So and it is saying so what we are going to discuss here is we are going to take two sorting algorithms. We are going to take insertion sort and the merge sort, and we are going to compare these two, that how which one is better as for the large number of elements. Okay, so here we will discuss two algorithms. The first one is known as the insertion sort, which takes, we all know that insertion sort's time complexity is big O of n square, and merge sort time complexity is n log n. Okay, so here we are going to roughly assume that insertion sort time complexity is C1 n square to sort n items, where C1 is the constant and it does not depends on the n. N is the number of inputs. Okay, and second we are going to take the insertion sort, and we all know insertion sort take the n log n time to compute to sort n number of elements. So here we will roughly equate this the time taken by the merge sort is equal to C2 n log n, and where n log n stands for log n, and C2 is another constant which is also does not depend on the n. What is n? N is the number of elements in the input. Okay, so here insertion sort typically has a smaller constant factor than the merge sort. So C1 is less than C2. Okay, always this is the case. So whatever constant is C1, what is constant value is for C1, that will always be lesser than the constant value for the C2. Okay, so this is the basic things. Now we all see that the constant factor so we all that know that constant factor does not going to affect the whole running time. This whatever value of C1 and C2, they are not going to affect the whole running time. As we can see, it is n square and it is n log n. So if we can write n square and n log n into such as the C1 dot n, uh, there is board is not there, so I will try to. So, what is if the time complexity for the insertion sort is okay, if it is C1 n square, and this is for the insertion sort, and for the merge sort I'm not able to write properly. It is C2 n log n. Okay, so if we can write it as C1 dot n dot n, and if we can write it as C2 dot n dot log n. Okay, so both are the same thing. So now we don't need to compare the whole thing. We are just going to compare n and log n. Okay, because uh, this is same. So we are going to compare this. Okay, so suppose n is equal to uh, n is equal to 100, then log n will be log n will be 10, right? Okay, so if this is the case, and if suppose n is equal to, what we can say, so means you can, what I want to say that as compared to n and log n, whenever the n is increasing, the log n value will be decrease. Okay, so this is going to take less time as compared to this for the large number of n value. Okay, so if n is equal to how much, if n is equal to 10 lakhs, then log n will be a very small number. Okay, so this is the now we are going to compare it for the a fixed number of input values. So we shall see that the constant factor can have far less of an impact on the running time than the dependence of input of size n. We know this. So although insertion sort usually run faster than merge sort for a small input size. Okay, so if your input is of a small size, then insertion sort will give the result more insertion sort will take less time if the input is small, and merge sort will take more time. And once the input size n becomes large enough, the merge side advantages of log n versus n will become more than compensate for the difference in constant factor. Why it is saying for the constant factor? Because we know that the constant factor for the merge sort is greater than the constant factor for the insertion sort. Okay, so if the input size is small, then insertion sort will take less time. But if the input size is large, then merge sort will take very less time because it is using the log n as compared to n in insertion sort. Okay, so we will take this example. Suppose you have a very fast computer, which is the computer A, and it is running the insertion sort, again a slower computer B, which is running the merge sort. So we have two computers. A is running insertion sort and B is running merge sort, and they each must sort an array of 1 million number. Okay, so we have 1 million number for the insertion sort also and the merge sort also. So we need to sort the 1 million numbers, and suppose that computer A executes 1 billion instructions per second. Okay, so because we know that computer A is the fastest computer, that's why it is executing 1 billion instructions per second. And computer B, which is the slow computer, it executes 10 million instructions per second. Okay, so we can see that A is 1,000 times faster than computer B in a raw computing power, if you only see the computing power. Okay, and suppose an excellent programmer codes insertion sort in a machine language for computer A, and resulting code requires 2n square instructions to short n numbers. यहाँ पे c is equal to कितना है, c1 is equal to 2 because we have the cn square, c1 n square, and now it will require only 2n square, so means c1 is equal to 2 here. And suppose further that just an average programmer implements merge sort using a high level language with an inefficient compiler. So in case of computer B, it is not as much fast as the computer A, and also it is having inefficient compiler, and also its programming is also written by some average programmer. Okay, so we have nothing good for the computer B till now. Only thing is computer B is running merge sort and computer A is running insertion sort. Okay, and the computer B is resulting, computer B take the 50 and log n instructions. So here C2 is equal to 50. So we can easily see that 2 is very less than the 50. So to sort 10 million numbers, computer A will take, A is the computer with highest processor, and it take 10 billion, sorry, kitna? 1 billion instructions per second, no? Haan. And A takes 1 billion instructions per second. So we will see. Okay, this is the 2n square and 1 billion instructions per second. Okay, I hope it is clear to everyone. So it is 1 billion, sorry, 2n square divided by 1 billion instructions per second. So it will take 20,000 seconds, means more than 5.5 hours. While computer B takes, how much it takes? It takes 50 n log n. So 50 into 1 billion, then log n instructions, and it is running 1 million instructions per second. So it will take less than 20 minutes. So we can see that because we are using the login here, so we can see the difference. It is the fastest computer. It is taking less time, means it is taking only 2n square, and everything is good for this. But what we can say, because the input number is very large, so we can see the difference here that merge sort is taking very less time as compared to the insertion sort. Okay, so by using an algorithm whose running time grows more slowly. So in case of n log n, its running time is growing very slowly as compared to the n square, because यहाँ पे वो exponentially बढ़ रहा है. So even with a poor compiler, computer B runs more than 17 times faster than computer A. Why? Because the input is large, and for the large input, insertion sort is not a good option. We need to consider other sorting algorithms. So in general, as the problem increases, so does the relative advantage of merge sort increases. Why? Because merge sort is using, its running time is only n log n. That's why it is taking very less time. I hope this is clear. See which algorithm is efficient. We need to why merge sort is better than the insertion sort for the large number of instructions. So till now, anyone have any doubt? So in this example, computer A was the fastest computer. Still, it is taking much time because we are using the insertion sort for sorting 10 billion instructions. Sorry, 10 million instructions. Now we will see the algorithms and the other technologies. So as the example we have seen in the previous example, that we should consider algorithms like computer hardware, means as a technology. Why we are saying this? Because we need to, suppose if you want to run any algorithm in a short time, so you need to select the efficient hardware also. Your computer should be in proper working condition. So then only your algorithm should take less time. So that's why it is saying कि whenever you are selecting any algorithms or you are talking about the algorithms, you should consider algorithms as the technology. So the the total system performance depends on choosing efficient algorithm as much as choosing fast hardware. So if you are choosing the fast hardware and selecting the wrong algorithm, then it is not going to give the efficient time. Means it is going to take the more time. So you need to whenever you are selecting the algorithms and the hardware, you need to focus on ki as much as the hardware is important, you need to also focus on the ki which method, which algorithm you are using to solve the particular problem. So just as rapid advances are being made in another computer technologies, they are being made in algorithms as well. So one might wonder whether algorithms are truly are important on contemporary computers in light of other advanced technologies. So it is saying ki as now we have the very efficient, our computer interface is very good. We have the very good architecture. We have the very good GUI. We have object-oriented systems, and we have local area and wide area networking. Then it is going to, it is there is not going to be the need of algorithms. Okay, but this is wrong. कि अगर हमारे पास ये सब भी अच्छा है, but we are not going to use the efficient algorithm, then it is not is of any meaning. Okay, so we should always use the efficient algorithms. So now we will move to the next topic, which is the insertion chart. So now we will see the insertion chart in the detailed way. What is the insertion chart, how it is working, and what is the time for complexity, and all these things. So insertion short क्या है? It is it will give the it will take input as a sequence of n numbers, and it will give the output as a permutation, means reordering of the input sequence, such that if you want, this is for the increasing order. So if you want to sort the given number of array in the increasing order, then this is the condition. So the first element should be less than or equal to the second element, then the second element should be less than or equal to the third element, and so on. And the first element should be the smallest element, and the last element should be the highest element. Okay, so this is the case for insertion sort. So you will have a sequence of numbers, and the number that we wish to sort are also known as the keys. So these are A1, A2, A3 until the A1, AN are the keys. So although conceptually we are sorting a sequence, the input comes to us in the form of an array with an element. Okay, so whatever input you have, it will come in the form of an element of an array. An array of an element. So insertion sort is an efficient algorithms for sorting a small number of elements. So if you have very small number of elements, then insertion sort is very good. And as we have seen in the previous example that we have the large number of elements, and then insertion sort is not resulting in very good way. Okay, so if you have a small number of elements, then insertion sort is the best algorithms to use. And insertion sort works the way many people sort a hand of playing cards. Okay, so it works in the same way that you are sorting the playing cards. So how do you sort the cards? You have all the cards in the table, and if you need to sort the cards, you are going to pick one card and take the card in the left hand. Okay, then how you are going to, you will see the number, what is the number, then you are going to pick the another card from the table, and you will compare both the cards. Okay, when you are comparing, you will see which one is smaller and which one is larger. So according to that, a smaller one will come first and larger one will come later. Okay, so then in that way you are going to arrange it. So so we then remove one card at a time from the table and insert it into the correct position in the left hand. Okay, so we are going to pick one card from the table and we are going to insert it into the correct position in the left hand. And how do you find the correct position? To find the correct position of a card, we compare it with each of the card already in the hand from right to left. Okay, so at all times the card held up in the left hand are sorted, and these cards were originally the top card or the of the pile of table. So suppose you have a pile of cards and you are going to pick first card and then you are going to compare it. If it is first card, then you cannot compare it with anyone. Now you have the first card and you are going to pick the second card. When you are picking the second card, now you have two cards. So now you can compare. So now you will compare from right to left. Then जो भी पहले जिसकी भी वैल्यू कम होगी, you can place it to the left and then next other one to the right. So this is the way. Now you can see, suppose you have a pile of cards. So first is the you have taken the some number. So this is the situation where you in your left hand you have four cards. What are these four cards? 2, 4, 5 and 10. And now you have four cards. Now you are picking the fifth card, and fifth card is the seventh card, means it has the value 7. So you need to arrange it into the in its correct position. So how you do that? You are going to compare the card that you have picked just now to the all the cards in the left hand. Okay, so now when you will compare, you need to compare from the right to left. So firstly you will compare 10 and 7. So what you can see, 10 is larger than 7, so you can now compare it with 5. So now 7 is compared with 5, so 5 is smaller than 7, so you will place the 7 in between the 5 and 10. So okay, so in that way insertion sort work. So this is the pseudocode for the insertion sort. So we all know pseudocode. What is pseudocode? It is simply the it will state all the method what is the necessary steps to perform the insertion sort. So here I will explain the pseudocode for the insertion sort. So here it is saying ki A is the array of the given element, and n is the number of elements that array is having. Okay, so now we need to sort this array. And we don't know in which position which element is stored, and either it is stored in random order or in sorted order. We don't know that. So what we need to do, firstly we need to take the array A. Okay, A is the array of all the elements. So we need to take the array A, then we need to start from j is equal to 2. 2 means second position. Why we are going to start from the second position? क्योंकि हमारे पास जो भी first position में जो भी card है या जो भी value है, we cannot compare it with anyone. Okay, so for that purpose we are going to start with j is equal to 2, means second position. Now you need to go through second to nth value. A dot length means A is array, dot length means array का length. तो array का length हमारा कितना है? It is n. So A dot length means you need to start from 2 and go to n. So for loop is for j is equal to 2 to n. Sorry. Then key. Key is the current card that you are picking. Okay. So that is the current card. So that A of j will be assigned to key. So now for the first iteration, j is equal to 2. So A of 2 will be assigned to key. Now insert aj into the sorted sequence of A to j minus 1. So for the first iteration, j is equal to 2. Okay. So for j is equal to 2 है, तो j minus 1 is 1. So 2 minus 1 is 1 only. So means now array is only having only one element, the sorted element, the sorted array. Okay, so now we will insert aj into the sorted sequence. And then what we are going to do, we are going to, after inserting it, we are going to assign j minus 1 to the I value. So what is I? What is this? So now we need to run a while loop while I is less than 0. Why we are doing this? Why is it is less than 0? It cannot be equal to 0. Why? Because j is already 2 and 2 minus 1 is 1. Okay, and it could not be less than 1 because I is 1. Then in the next iteration when you will take j is equal to 3, then it will be I is equal to 2, means it is not going to increase less than 1. Okay, so that's why it is writing it as I should be greater than 0. Means it could be 1, 2, 3, 4, any value, but it should be greater than 0. Then and the condition is while a of I is greater than key क्या है, जो भी हम current card pick कर रहे हैं, that value will be assigned to the key. Okay, so we need to compare a of I and the key. So if a of I is greater than the key, if this condition is true, then we need to assign a of I to next. Okay, then you need to decrement the I value. Then again you need to assign a I plus 1 value to the key. So this is the pseudo code. I am on the same Slido. That's why I think you can feel that you are feeling like that my screen is frozen. But I am on the same slide only. I am explaining this slide only. So now I will take one example and explain the step-by-step procedure. Okay, the pseudocode, so that you can get a better understanding of the pseudocode. Okay, so first step क्या है? You need to start from 2 and go to n, 2 to n. So this is, suppose this is the array. We need to sort this array. What is this? 5, 2, 4, 6, 1, 3. And you can see that this is unsorted. Okay, so now we need to sort this. So we need to start. What is the first step? First step is for j is equal to 2. Now we need to assign whatever value is at 2. What is the value? J a of 2 में 2 ही है. So now we will assign the 2 value to the key. So now key is equal to 2. We have assigned the a of j value to key. So now key is equal to 2. Okay. Now the next step is what we need to do. We need to assign the j minus 1 to I. तो j क्या है हमारा 2 है. तो 2 minus 1 means 1. We need to assign 1 to I. So now I is equal to 1 and j is equal to 2 and key is equal to 2 also because a of 2 is 2. Okay. So next step क्या है? You need to run this code. So now you need to compare a of I to key. A of I हमारा कितना है? I is 1. So a of 1 and a of 2 will be compared. Key क्या है? Key is a of j. So now you need to compare a of 1 and a of 2. Okay, so if a of 1 is greater than the a of 2, then you need to swap these two. If it is not greater than 2, then simply move to the next step. So we will see here 5 and 2. A of 1 will be compared with a of 2 and we can see a of 1 is greater than a of 2. So now you need to swap these two. Okay, so now when you will swap these two, you will get 2 and 5. Now we need to increase the j value. So now j will be pointing to 3 and I will be pointing to 2. Okay, so if you want to see this, now we have now j will be incremented to 3. Now a of j will be key. तो j की वैल्यू हमारी कितनी है? 3 है. तो a of 3 will be key. तो a of 3 की वैल्यू हमारी 4 है. So now key value is 4. Key is equal to 4 and I will be 2 now because it is j minus 1 and j is 3. So 3 minus 1 will be 2. Now you need to compare A of 2 and A of 3. Okay, so now when you will compare these two, then you can see that A of 2 is still greater than the A of 3. So now again you need to swap these two. Are you getting all this? Are you getting this? Okay. So now you need to, when you will compare A of 2 and A of 3, you can see that A of 2 is greater than A of 3. So you need to swap these two. So when you will swap these two, now you need to increment J. So when you will increment J, now J is pointing to 4. Okay. Now J is pointing to 4. So J is pointing to 4. Now you need to assign key value A of J. So A of J value क्या है? A of J is 6. So now key value is 6. Okay. So now key value is 6. So now again you need to compare. Sorry. Again you need to compare A of 3 and A of 4. Means 5 and 6. So this condition is false here. So this will not run. So now you need to go to for loop again. Now you will increment the J value. So now J value is, now J is 5. So J is equal to 5. So now J of 5, A of 5 is 1. So key value is now 1. Okay, and J की value क्या है? 5 है. So now I value will be 4. Now you need to compare A of 4 and A of 5. Means you need to compare A of 4 and A of 5, which is the 6 and 1. So you can see that the A of 4 is greater than A of 5. So you need to swap these two. So when you will swap these two, you can see that you need to compare it from the right to left. I have already told that whenever you are finding the correct positions, you need to compare it with each of the card already in the hand from right to left. Okay. So when we will compare, so when we will compare, we are comparing 6 and 1. So 1 is less than 6. So it will move there. Now we will again compare 1 and 5. So 1 is less than 5. It will move there. We will again compare 1 and 4. 4 is again greater than 1. We will move 1 there. Now again we will compare 1 and 2. Okay, so in that way we will uh, compare with everyone and put the one in its correct position. So now one is in its correct positions. Now we again increment the J values. So J की value अभी क्या होगी? From the in the previous step it is pointing on 5. Now it will point on 6. Okay, so A of 6 is 3. Now we need to assign the A of 6 means 3 value to the key. Now key value is 3. So now I value will be the 5. J minus 1, it will be 5. Now you need to compare the A of 5 and the key value. Means these two values you need to compare. When you will compare, you will see that 6 is greater than 3. So you will move 3 to there. Then you will compare these two. Then you will move 3 to there. You will compare these two. Means you will compare from right to left until you will find the correct position for the key value. Okay. Then you can see by using this pseudo code we have sorted this array. Okay, so this is the insertion sort, and in this way it sorts the element of the given array. I hope everything is clear for the insertion sort. Okay. So now we will move to next topic of the insertion sort only. So now we will see the loop invariants and the correctness of the insertion sort. Ki how it is correct. Whatever algorithms you are having, you need to identify either it is correct or not. So we will see the loop invariants and the correctness of insertion sort. So this figure shows how this algorithm works for this array, particular array, which is the A is equal to 5, 2, 4, 6, 1, 3, the same array. Okay, so we have seen how insertion sorts work for this array. So the index J indicates the current card. I already told that. So index J indicates the current card being inserted into the left hand. Okay, means you are picking one card from the table and inserting it into your left hand. So the J is the card that you are picking from the table and inserting it into your hand. And at the beginning of each iteration of for loop, which is indexed by J, the subarray considering of element A from 1 to j minus 1. Okay, so in the starting of this code, further this at this step, we know that because we are starting from j is equal to 2, so our array is मीन्स एवरी इटरेशन के लिए हमारा जो भी अरे होगा बिफोर दैट इटरेशन वी हैव टू पार्ट ना, कि फर्स्ट पार्ट कितना है a from a to j minus 1, then next part is j plus 1 to n. We have two parts. So j a from a 1 to j minus 1 is the number of cards which you are having in your left hand, and j plus 1 to n is the card which you are having in table, and j is the card which you have picked from your right hand. Okay, so we have three categories. The first is the right hand, left hand, and the table. So a 1 to j minus 1 is the number of cards that are in your left hand and they are sorted. Okay, because every time this is the sorted one, means this gray you can see now, this is the sorted, and this is your left hand. You can consider firstly you have only 5, then you have 2 5, so whatever you have in your left hand, this is the sorted. Okay, so the subarray of consisting of elements a 1 to j minus 1 constitute the currently sorted hand, and the elements j plus 1 to n corresponds to the pile of the cards still on the table. And in fact, elements a 1 to j minus 1 are the elements originally in the positions from, means it is saying कि you are not changing the positions. जो भी हम first card pick कर रहे हैं, means what I can say कि for suppose you have 10 elements, okay, in the array. So for first to 5 the elements will be same, elements की position change नहीं हो रही है, it will be same. Okay, कि जो भी हम कार्ड पिक करें we are comparing it to the previous one only. मतलब ऐसे नहीं होगा कि 5 के how I can say कि you are picking it and moving to the next so to the right side. ओके, तो इन फैक्ट इट इज सेइंग कि जो भी हमारे एलिमेंट्स होंगे ए टू द 1 to j minus 1, they will be the original elements that will be placed in that position. I will show here only. So this is the original array. Okay, so what it is saying कि suppose we have 6 n is 6 here ना, so we will take only 3. सो वी विल टेक फॉर मीन्स हमने j की वैल्यू क्या ली है 4 ली है, एंड तो j की वैल्यू 4 है तो j minus 1 will be 3. तो 1 to j minus 1 will have all the elements that are initially in the 1 to j minus 1 only. Okay, so if j is equal to 4, so j is equal to 4 is there now. So what it is saying, you can say 5 to 4 are the three elements which are available इनिशियली भी हमारे यही तीन एलिमेंट्स थे जो हमारे 1 2 3 में थे, और अभी भी आफ्टर शॉर्टिंग द एलिमेंट्स दीज थ्री एलिमेंट्स आर ओनली इन द पोजीशन ऑफ 1 2 3, मींस दे आर इन द सॉर्टेड ऑर्डर बट दे आर द ओनली एलिमेंट्स विच आर इन द जो ओरिजिनली भी थे और अभी भी वही है, मींस एलिमेंट्स चेंज नहीं हुए हैं. So this is the thing, and this is and we state these properties of a 1 to j minus 1 formally as the loop invariant. So जो भी हमारे So the sorted one means one to j minus 1 will be known as the loop invariant. And at the start of each iteration of the for loop of lines 1 to 8, the subarray A1 to j minus 1 consists of the elements originally in the A to j minus 1 but in the sorted order. So we have seen कि elements यहाँ 1 to 3 में same है, but now they are in the sorted order. Initially it was 5 to 4, now it is also 5 to 4, but now they are in the sorted order. So this is the known as the loop invariant. So we use the loop invariant to help us understand why an algorithm is correct. Whatever algorithms you are having, why it is correct. So we must show three things about a loop invariant. If you want to identify कि जो भी हमारा algorithm वो correct है कि नहीं है, so we need to do it by using the loop invariant. So we need to identify three things. So the first thing is initialization, then maintenance, and then termination. So initialization is it is true prior to the first iteration of the loop. So so whatever your loop is, it should be true before the starting of the iteration. So this is the true condition. Then maintenance is if it is true before an iteration of the loop, it remains true before the next iteration. That then only you can say it is correct one. Means ki whatever condition you are having, if it is true before an iteration of the loop, it remains true before the next iteration also. We will see in the detail in the next slide. And the termination is when the loop terminates, the invariance gives us a useful property that help so the algorithm is correct or not. So now we will start with the initialization. So we start by showing that the loop invariant holds before the first loop iteration. So first loop क्या था? When j is equal to 2. So j is equal to 2 है अगर, so our sub array will be a2 when j is equal to 2. What is this one is printed by mistake. It is not 2.1. So initialization means we need to check the initial condition. So in the initial condition, what is the condition? The condition is j is equal to 2. This is the case. So j is equal to 2 है अगर, तो हमारा सब array कितना होगा? Sub array is only, it will have only one element because it is sub array is consisting 1 to j minus 1. If j is equal to 2, then 2 minus 1 is 1 only. So the sub array will have only one element. अगर एक ही element है, so it is always sorted because you cannot compare it with anyone. Okay, so it is saying ki which is in fact the original element in A1, and moreover this subarray is sorted trivially because there is no other elements, which shows that the loop invariant holds prior to the first iteration of the loop. क्योंकि हमारा ये क्या था, कंडीशन क्या है? इट इज ट्रू prior टू द फर्स्ट इटरेशन ऑफ द लूप, कि हमारी कंडीशन अभी हम शॉर्टिंग टेक्निक यूज कर रहे हैं. सो हमारा जो भी हमारा फर्स्ट स्टेप है उसमें जो भी हमारा एक सॉर्टेड अरे है, दैट शुड बी करेक्ट, मीन्स दैट शुड बी शॉर्टेड. सो वी हैव दिस अरे ओनली A1, so it is sorted only. Okay, so we can say that the first condition is true, initialization is true. So now the next step is maintenance. So maintenance is showing that each iteration maintains the loop invariant. Informally, the body of for loops works by moving aj minus 1, aj minus 2, aj minus 3, and so on by one position to the right until the proper position for aj is found. So this is this one. Now we have moved from a j2, a j minus 1 2, a j minus 2, j minus 3, j minus 4, j minus 5 until we found the correct position for aj. Okay, so this is the same condition. Until we found the proper position for aj, at which point the value of aj is inserted. The subarray A1 to J then consists of the elements originally in AJ. Okay, so we are saying now in this case we are taking this case because we need to move from 1 to this to there. So it is saying ki the elements from 1 to 5 should be the elements that are originally present in array 1 to 5. So 1 to 5 mein what are the elements? 5, 2, 4, 6, 1. So after this iteration also we can see that we have only these elements 2, 5, then 4, then 6, then 1. Okay, so this is also true कि जो भी हमारा initially 1 to 5 में था अभी भी हमारा after the iteration this iteration after this iteration also we have the same elements in 1 to 5. Okay, so the subarray a to j consist j क्या है हमारा? j is the current card which we have picked and then inserted in the sorted array. Okay, so now the subarray a1 to j then consists of the elements originally in a1 to j but in sorted order, which we have seen same ही element same है but now they are in the sorted order. So incrementing j for the next iteration of the for loop then preserves the loop variant. Okay, so it is also maintaining the loop variant condition because agar if suppose this is the condition ki after this iteration 3 is also moved there somehow. Okay, so then what we can say कि अभी हमारे 1 to 5 में we have 5 2 4 6 1 but 3 is not there, but because of some mistake if 3 is moved there then what we can say that this algorithm is not correct because अभी क्या है जो हमारे 1 to 5 में इनिशियली जो एलिमेंट्स थे अभी वो एलिमेंट सेम नहीं है, एलिमेंट्स हैव चेंज्ड. So this is not the correct algorithm. So we cannot say the maintenance loop variant is maintained. So that algorithm will be incorrect. But now we have checked that the elements in the 1 to 5 are same after the iteration. So the loop invariant is maintained. Now the last step is termination. So finally we examine what happens when the loop terminates. So when will the loop terminate? Loop will terminate. What is the condition? Condition is you have to run the loop for j is equal to 2 to a dot length. A का length कितना n है. So you need to run the loop for for j is equal to 2 to n. So in this example, what is the value? N is equal to 6. Okay, so you need to run it for the 2 to 6 times. Okay. So for the insertion sort, the outer loop ends when j exceeds n. That is, whenever the j is equal to n plus 1, the loop is completed, means ended. So substituting n plus 1 for j in the wording of loop invariant, we have that subarray a1 to n consists of the elements originally in 1 to n, but now in the sorted order. But the subarray a1 to n is the entire array now. Hence, the entire array is sorted, which means that algorithm is correct. Okay. So whenever j is equal to n plus 1 will be happen, the loop is completed. Now, whenever you substitute n plus 1 if you substitute n plus 1 there, then you cannot find any value because n plus 1 के लिए यहाँ पे कुछ है ही नहीं. So So when j is equal to n plus 1, substituting n plus 1 for j in the wording of loop invariant, Now we will have the whole array. As a we don't have the sub array. If you have the sub array, not the whole array, then you can say that the algorithm is incorrect. But now you have the entire array because the loop is over and it is j plus 1. And after the j plus 1, if you got the entire array, then the algorithm is correct. Okay, so this is the loop invariant to check your algorithm is correct or not. So till now, any doubt in the loop invariant? Okay. If anyone have any doubt, you can ask me. Then the next thing is we will analyze the how do we analyze the algorithms. We will see analyzing algorithms. So analyzing means analyzing in algorithms has come to mean predicting the resources that the algorithms require. So what are the resources any algorithm could require? It could be memory, communication bandwidth, or a computer hardware, and the time, computational time. So these are the basic things whenever you are focusing on analyzing the algorithms. So So these are the resources: memory, communicational bandwidth, hardware, computational time. So if you have a set of algorithms and you want to analyze which one is the best one, then you can compute all these factors for all the algorithms. और फिर जिसके लिए भी best आएगा measure that we will use. Means if you are getting low memory and high bandwidth and you are using means hardware is not the, and then a computational time, it is taking very low computational time, then that will be the best algorithm. So generally by analyzing several candidate algorithms for a problem, we can identify the most efficient one. So for the sorting only, we have a set of sorting algorithms. So by analyzing all these features, we can easily get to know which algorithm is the best algorithm, best sorting algorithm. So now we will analyze the insertion sort. So the basic thing is the computational time. So we will compute the time taken by the insertion sort. So time taken by the insertion sort procedure depends on the input size. So sorting 1,000 numbers takes longer times than the 3 numbers. So this is very obvious. This is very obvious that if you have a large number of elements, then it will take more time as compared to small number of elements. So moreover, insertion sort can take different amount of time to sort two input sequence of the same size depending on how nearly sorted they already are. Okay, so if you have suppose 10 elements in the array, and if you have three variants, the first one is the random one, and the second one is the sorted one, and third one is the uh, sorted in decreasing order and sorted in, you have two sorted array. The first one is sorted in increasing order, the second one is sorted in decreasing order, and the third one is the random array. I mean, it is unsorted. Okay, so you have three variants, and these three variants will take different times. Although the elements are same, the array size is same, but still it will take different amount of time to sort the element. Okay, because the array measures are different. So in general, the time taken by an algorithm grows with the size of input. So it is a traditional to describe the running time of a program as a function of size of its input, because it is completely dependent on the input size. So that's why we will describe the running time in terms of input only. So to do so, we need to define the term running time and the size of input more carefully. Running time and size of input means space. Running time will tell you about how much time it is taking, and the size of input will tell you about the how much space the it is taking. Okay, so we need to identify these terms more carefully. So we start by presenting the insertion sort procedure with the time cost of each statement and the number of times each statement is executed. So we already had the pseudocode. Now we just need to check ki how many steps are there and which step is executed how many times. Okay, and each step का कुछ cost होगा. So we need to identify each step's cost and how many times each step is executed. Okay, then after that we need to add all these values to get the time complexity. So for each j, because j is started from 2, so for each j is equal to 2, 3 to n, where n is equal to length of a, we know this, we let tj be the number of times while loop test in line 5 is executed for the value of j. Okay, so what is tj? Tj is the number of times while loop is executed. So we will see the pseudo code one more time. So this is the we can see that while loop is executed at line 5 and the time taken by the while loop is tj. We have assumed that. Okay, so now we need to Mhm. Now we need to identify the cost of each step. Uh, So Tj is the number of times while loop test in line 5 is executed for the value of j. When a for or while loop exists in the usual way, so we all know that it will any loop will be executed one more time for the false condition. Okay, कि अगर हमने n times किया हुआ है तो it will run n plus 1 times. For the plus 1 is for the false condition. Okay, so we all know that the test is executed one more time than the loop body. So we assume that the comments are not executable statement, so that they will take no time. So this is the pseudocode, and the cost of each step is given there. So uh, we all know that array का length कितना है? It is n, and we are starting from 2. तो 2 means n minus 1 ही बचा ना. We have the n array, n length array, and we are starting from 2. तो एक element छोड़ रहे हैं. तो एक element छोड़ रहे हैं means we have n minus 1. We are running this first step for n minus 1 times. But because this is the for loop, so it will run one more time for the false condition. So it will be n minus 1 plus 1. It will be n only. Okay. Understood now? We are starting from 2, so already it is n minus 1. Okay, but we are running it one more time for the false condition, so it will be n minus 1 plus 1. So it will be n only. Then all the elements in the for loop will run, all these statement will run for n minus 1 times. Okay, so this one will run for n minus 1 times. This is the comment, so it will have 0 cost. This is the cost given for each step, क्योंकि जो भी हम step run कर रहे हैं हर एक step का एक cost होगा. ठीक है, and how many times each step is running. So by calculating all this, we are going to compute the time complexity. So comments are non-executable, so it will take no cost. Then this will also run the n minus 1 times. Then the while loops. While loop के लिए हमने क्या use किया? We have used the tj. Tj is the number of times while loop executed in test line 5. In the sorry. लाइन 5 में हमारा +1 टाइम्स एग्जीक्यूट होगा ना, सो दिस इज द टाइम tj is the that time. Okay, so if line 5 में हमारा tj टाइम्स एग्जीक्यूट हुआ है, मींस +1 टाइम्स एग्जीक्यूट हुआ है, तो रिमेनिंग लाइंस में कितना होगा? इट विल बी tj -1. ओके, बिकॉज द tj is including the +1 also. Understood now? It is written there that tj be the number of times the while loop test in line 5 is executed. So while loop test in line 5 will be executed, the number of times it would be executed and +1 time. So the that will be equal to tj. So अगर ये tj times हुआ है, so remaining statements under inside the while loop will be executed tj -1 times. Okay. So this is the tj, then it will be tj -1, it will also be tj -1, as this is not a part of while loop, this is part of for loop, so it will also be executed n -1 times. Okay, so you have computed the cost and the number of times. Now what you need to do, you simply, the running time of algorithm is the sum of running time for each statement executed. Okay, so I statement that takes ci steps to execute and is executed n times will contribute cin to the total running time. Means this, for this one you need to write it as c1 n, c1 into n, c2 into n minus 1, 0 into n minus 1, c4 into n minus 1, c5 into, means you need to multiply the cost and times. Okay. So to compute the time complexity Tn, the running time of insertion sort, we sum the product of cost and running time columns. Okay, means you need to multiply these two, then you need to add all these. C1n plus C2n minus 1 means you need to add all these values. So when you will add all these values, it will be the time complexity for the insertion chart. Okay. So so even for the inputs of a given size, an algorithm running time may depends on the type of input. Either it is sorted or sorted in increasing order, or sorted in decreasing order, or it is some random data. So it will depends on that only. So for example, the insertion sort. Uh, in insertion sort, the best case occurs if the array is already sorted. Okay, and if it is sorted in increasing order, then it is best case. But if it is sorted in decreasing order, then it is the worst case for the insertion sort. Okay, why it is, we will see. So best case क्यों बोल रहे हैं अगर हमारा array already sorted है? Because whenever you are going to run this step now, so every time this will not be going to true. Every time this condition will going to fail. अगर ये fail हो रहा है तो ये whole loop will not be executed. So that's why it will take less time. Okay. So that's why it is saying. हाँ. So for each j is equal to 2, 3, n, we then find that a of key, a of I is less than or equal to key in line 5. When I has its initial value j minus 1, means in short, you need not to run this whole these two statements. Okay, because every time this condition gets false. So that's why this is the best case for the insertion sort. So because this is the best case, so every time the tj will be 1. Why it is 1? Because every time it is running only one time. Every time this step is running only one time, so it will be c1n, means it will be written like this. So c1n, c2n minus 1, c4 n minus 1. Okay, so it will be written like this only. So because Tj in one, so these two steps will be zero only. So you have one, two, three, four, and five. Hmm. So you can see C1n plus C2n minus 1, C4n minus 1, then C5n minus 1, then C8n minus 1, because the initial steps will be 0. Sorry, middle steps will be 0. So when you will take common n and the constant value, so it will be like this. So what you can see that it is, if you take the all these constant value, replace them by A, and all these constant value replace them by B, then it will be only an plus b. Okay, because all these are the constants only, all these are the constants only, so it will be an plus b. So the running time can be expressed as an plus b for constants a and b that depends on the statement of cost c. So thus it is a linear function of n for the ascending sorted order. Okay, whenever the given array is sorted in increasing order, the running time will be a linear function of n. Okay, and if the array is sorted in reverse order, means decreasing order, then it will be the worst case. Because why it is worst case? Because we need to compare each element's aj times. Okay, because you need to compare it every time, and also you need to swap it, means this steps, means you need to compare it every time, and you need to again, because अगर ये हमारा decreasing है, suppose this is the least one and this is the sorted, so you need to move this value from to this every time. Okay, so it is going to take much time. So that's why in case of uh, reverse sorted order, the insertion sort results in worst case. So now the tj will be j only. Okay, because you need to run it for j times. Okay, so tj will be j. So it will be the tj is equal to n plus 1, because you need to run it for n minus 1 times now. So n minus 1 times will means n plus 1 by 2 minus 1, n minus 1 times, then n minus 1 times, means it will be written like this. Okay, so now when you will add everything, so you will get the worst case running time of the insertion sort. So when you will compute and when you will compute everything, you will get the uh, final time complexity in this form. Means this all everything is constant, everything is constant, and this is the constant. So when you replace this constant by one, a suppose, this constant by b, and this constant by c, then you are going to get the tn is equal to, time complexity is equal to an square plus bn minus c. Okay, so what you can say that um, this worst case running time can be expressed as this, where ABC that again depend on the statement cost Ci, and it is thus the quadratic function of n. Okay, so that's why we know that the best case running time of insertion sort is n, and the worst case running time of insertion sort is n square, because it is the quadratic function of n. Now so everyone understood how to compute the time complexity of any algorithm. You just need to compute the cost of every step, and you also need to identify कि कितने बार कौन सा step execute हो रहा है. Okay, then you need to multiply the cost and the number of times every step is running. Then you need to sum up every step. Okay, then in that way you are going to get the time complexity of any algorithm. Understood? Okay. So now we'll move to the next topic. Also the last topic for the today, which is the worst case and average case analysis of insertion chart. So in our analysis of insertion chart, we looked at both the best case in which the input array is already sorted and the worst case in which the input array is reverse sorted. Okay, so we have seen both the cases for the insertion chart, best case and the worst case. We shall usually concentrate on finding only the worst case running time. That is the longest running time for any input of size n. Means no need to compute the worst case time complexity. You just need to compute the worst case time complexity. Why we are saying this? Because we have three reasons to say this. The first reason is worst case running time of an algorithm is the upper bound on the running time for any input. Okay, means कि अगर हमने वर्स्ट केस कंप्यूट कर लिया तो वी कैन से दैट कि हम कोई भी इनपुट दें, it will not going to take more than that time. Okay, so we are going to get the upper bound, and knowing it gives us a guarantee that the algorithms will never take any longer. Means कोई भी input दो, it will be always computed within the upper bound. Okay, and the second point is for some algorithms the worst case occurs fairly often. For example, in searching a database for a particular piece of information, the searching algorithm's worst case will often occur when the information is not present in the database. Okay, so then only that will be the worst case because it is not present in the database and you have to search in the whole database. So in some searching application, searching for absent information may be frequent, and the average case is often roughly as bad as the worst case. So why we are saying, suppose that we randomly choose in n numbers and apply insertion sorts. So how long it take to determine where in subarray a of 1 to j minus 1 to insert the element j. So on average half the elements in a means on average half the elements in your hand are less than the aj. Sorry. So, so how long does it take to determine where to insert the AJ in your left hand? Means how to identify the correct position. So on average, half the elements in A1 to J minus 1 are less than AJ. Okay, it is on average. So if you want to compare, we can compare. You can compare it with the given example that I have given, and the other half is the greater. So on average, therefore, we need to check half of the array. So it is about the j by 2. So that's why no need to check for the average case. We just need to, if we can only identify the worst case, then it is a good option. Okay. So the third point is कि हमें जो भी हमारी जो भी AJ की value है, we need to if you want to identify the correct position, so the possibility is कि जो भी हमारे AJ A1 to J minus 1 में जितने भी elements हैं, so half of the elements will be less than the AJ value and half of the elements will be the greater than the AJ value. So you need to check for the at least J minus 2 times. Okay. So this is the average case. So it is also similar to the worst case. So that's why you need to, it is best to compute the best case and the worst case only. No need to focus on the average case analysis. So that's it for today. Tomorrow we will see the designing algorithms. So in today's topic, if anyone have any doubt, can ask me. Then I will announce the attendance, take the attendance. Yes, I have recorded the video. I will make a Google Classroom and I will share the link in the WhatsApp group. So all of you can join it. Then I will share the study material to that classroom only. So you can get the easy accessibility. Everything will be one place only. Okay. So I will share the video recording there. So now I will take the attendance. I will call the name. You need to on your mic and say you are present or not. So the first name is Abhale Pooja Subhas. Present or not? When your name, when I announce your name, then only you can on your mic. For now, you can off it. I don't think she's present. Abhale Pooja Subhas. Then Vaishnavi Adke Santosh.
Present, ma'am.
Kunal Bhalarao Ashok.
Present, ma'am.
Pratiksha Bandre Balu. Pratiksha Bhandare Balu. Sorry. Absent. Then Simran Bhatnakar.
Present, ma'am.
Ruchita Bhosle.
Present, ma'am.
Akshata Bhosle. Akshata Bhosle. Rajeshwari Budukar. Amar Chavrekar.
Present, ma'am.
Neha Chavrekar.
Present.
Satyam Chaudhary. Yes Dabhade. Rajat Dalvi.
Present, ma'am.
Tejas Datkhile. Aishwarya Desai.
Present, ma'am.
Omkar Dhumale.
Present, ma'am.
Sejal Gaikar.
Present, ma'am.
Mayuri Gaikwad.
Present, ma'am.
Sneha Gaikwad.
Present, ma'am.
Swati Gaikwad.
Present, ma'am.
Deepen Ganguly.
Present, ma'am.
Megha Gavankar.
Present, ma'am.
Shreya Gedam.
Present, ma'am.
Payal Gunjal. Payal Gunjal. Vignesh Ingavle. Devyani Jadhav.
Present.
Sumit Jadhav. Bhavika Jain. Karishma Jain. Pratish Kadam.
Present, ma'am.
Pooja Kale.
Present, ma'am.
Pranali Kale. प्रणाली, अमित कंबाली,
Present, ma'am.
स्नेहल कांबले, स्नेहल, अमोल खेड़कर,
Present, ma'am.
आदित्य श्री सागर, श्री सागर जो भी हो, एब्सेंट। प्रतीक कुलकर्णी,
Yes, ma'am.
श्वरा कुलकर्णी, भूपेश लाड,
Present, ma'am.
उमेश लाखट, ओमकार लंजेकर,
Present, ma'am.
अनिकेत लोकारे, निकिता लोकारे, वैभवी लोखंडे, दिव्या लोने, जिफिन लोपेज, दर्पणा माने, मकसूद आलम मंसूरी,
Present, ma'am.
अंकित मौर्य, श्वेता मायरेकर,
Present, ma'am.
मलिक मोहम्मद, सुनील मुदालियर,
Present, ma'am.
सत्यन मुंबारकर,
Present, ma'am.
राम्या नादर, विघ्नेश्वरन नादर, विघ्नेश्वर कुमार नादर, एब्सेंट। प्रमिला नदावड़े,
Present, ma'am.
प्रिया नाग, विनो नेदुमपुल्ली,
Present, ma'am.
राजू निषाद, प्रणव पाडिया, अश्विनी पांडे, पूर्णिमा पंसारे, योगिता परांडे,
Present, ma'am.
रूपेश पवार, तृप्ति पवार, जयेश पेडनेकर,
Present, ma'am.
ऋषिकेश पेडनेकर,
Present, ma'am.
दर्शन पिथवा, ज्योति राणे,
Present, ma'am.
शांतनु रेवातकर, रेजिनॉल्ड रोचे,
Yes, I'm present.
मधुलिका साहू, प्रांजल संगुलकर,
Present, ma'am.
रिलीना सैयल,
Present, ma'am.
अकिल शेख,
Present, ma'am.
अनिल शर्मा, अनिल शर्मा,
Present, ma'am.
ऋतुजा शिर्के, प्रेजेंट। संकेत शिर्के,
Present, ma'am.
रिफत जहान सिद्दीकी, शिल्पा सिंह, शिल्पा सिंह, पंकज तलवारकर, पंकज तलवारकर, प्राची तेली,
प्रेजेंट मैम।
अनुराग तिवारी, अनुराग तिवारी,
Present, ma'am.
सॉरी, देवेश तिवारी, कुणाल त्रिपाठी, कुणाल त्रिपाठी, कन्या बंजारे,
प्रेजेंट मैम।
करिश्मा विश्वकर्मा, करिश्मा विश्वकर्मा, उमाशंकर विश्वकर्मा,
Present, ma'am.
ओमी विश्वकर्मा, रोमिल वोरा,
Present, ma'am.
हर्षद वाघमारे,
प्रेजेंट मैम।
प्रतीक वाघमारे, आनंद यादव, आनंद यादव, शैलेश यादव,
Present, ma'am.
वैदेही यादव,
प्रेजेंट मैम।
anyone else is there in the class? इसका नाम
Ma'am,
मैंने
शांतनु
हाँ?
रेवतकर मैम। मैम,
शांत-
माइक इशू।
शांतनु,
यस मैम, रेवतकर।
Ma'am, hello, ma'am. Umesh Lakhat.
what is your name?
Umesh Lakhat.
लाखत, उमेश लाखत।
Hello, ma'am.
हाँ,
Sumit Jadhav.
सुमित जाधव। I have announced your name or not?
Yeah, I'm facing mic issue.
सुमित जाधव ना?
Yes,
Okay. Anyone else?
thank you.
हेलो
मैम,
पायल गुंजा।
अजय केवट।
Sorry, नाम क्या नाम है?
पायल गुंजाल।
पायल गुंजाल। जब नाम अनाउंस किया तभी क्यों नहीं बोल रहे हो सब?
मैम माइक इशू था।
ओके,
मैम, अजय केवट।
हाँ, कौन?
अजय केवट।
केवट, अजय केवट करके कोई नाम नहीं है मेरे लिस्ट में।
मैम, लेट एडमिशन था।
मेरा एडमिशन है।
यस मैम। मैम, आपको फोन किया था ना वो एडमिशन के लिए।
ओके ओके, मिनट एंट्री करने दो। नाम?
अजय केवट।
अजय Hmm. Anyone else is there?